Welcome to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
Come on to the theatre.
Hello, Merry Christmas and welcome back to episode 62 of the Manx Theatre Podcast with me, Neil Callan. Thank you to everyone who's listened to our previous episodes. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome along and thanks for joining us. In this podcast, we like to try and keep you up to date with what's going on in theatre on the Isle of Man, chatting to the cast and creatives of upcoming shows to find out a little more about the shows and the people behind them. And also, what our Manx born and bred performers are doing further afield.
Coming up on this week's podcast.
I'm joined by Lisa Kreisky and Chrissy Wilson to talk about their 2025 production of Calendar Girls. You can still listen to all of our previous episodes through all the usual podcast outlets and at manxradio.com/podcasts. Whilst you're there, make sure to give us a like and click subscribe or follow or whatever it is you need to do to make sure you never miss an episode. Since the last episode, Centre Stage Productions have announced that they are no longer going to be staging Titanic in autumn 2025, and instead are staging the official Take That musical, The Band. Step back in time to 1992 and join 5 teenage girls as they navigate friendship, dreams and the power of music. Fast forward 25 years and their journey to reconnect will have you laughing, crying and singing along to the soundtrack from the greatest days of their lives, all set to the soundtrack of Take That's iconic hits, including Never Forget, Back for Good, Shine and Rule the World. The Band will play at the Gaiety Theatre in October 2025. The Manx Operatic Society are offering an early bird ticket offer for their March 2025 production of Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Tickets for the 5pm performance on Saturday 16th of March and the matinee on Saturday 22nd of March are just £24 for the stalls and £26 for the circle. But be quick, as these prices are only available until the 24th of December. Everybody's Talking About Jamie runs at the Gaiety Theatre from the 14th to the 22nd of March 2025. No doubt we'll be having a chat with a few members of the cast in the run-up to the show. And if you're stuck for a Christmas present, there's nothing like the gift of live theatre, and tickets are also currently on sale through villagaiety.com for Chicago, Little Shop of Horrors and Calendar Girls. This week, the UK and Ireland tour of Mary Poppins have announced that they're looking for kids to fill the roles of Jane and Michael Banks. So, if your daughter is under 4'9", a great actor, strong singer and can move well, or your son is under 4'6" and is a great actor, a strong singer with an unchanged voice and is comfortable moving, you need to get in touch. The deadline to apply is the 15th of December. Check out our Facebook page where you'll find a post with all the links for the contacts. Now this episode has been made possible by funding from the Isle of Man Arts Council, and I got to properly test out my new equipment on a trip to speak to Lisa and Chrissy. If you want to find out more about Arts Council funding, check out their website at iomarts.com. Speaking of the Arts Council, they announced a few days ago that Manx actor Joe Locke has been nominated for the Independent Spirit Awards and the Saturn Awards. Joe has been nominated for the Independent Spirit Awards in the Best Breakthrough Performance in a New Scripted Series category, and the Saturn Awards in the Best Younger Performer in a Television Series category. Both awards for his role in the Disney Plus Marvel TV series Agatha All Along. The 40th Independent Spirit Awards will take place in Santa Monica, California on February the 22nd, and the 52nd Saturn Awards, presented every year at the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy and Horror Films, will take place in California on February the 2nd, 2025. I'm sure you'll all join me in wishing Joe the very best of luck with those nominations. Now, I'm just waiting to hear whether I'll have a special Christmas episode of the podcast with the cast of the Gaiety Theatre's pantomime, Dick Whittington. Watch this space. In the meantime, make sure you keep up to date with what's going on between episodes by following Manx Theatre Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram.
You're listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
Okay, joining me on the podcast now is Chrissy Wilson and Lisa Kreisky from Stage Door Entertainments, and they're here to talk about Calendar Girls. Ladies, welcome along.
Thanks very much for having us.
I mean, having you again.
Again.
And again.
You can't get rid of us.
I think you two are probably the most returning guests I've got on the podcast.
You said this last time.
Yes.
And do you know what? We're absolutely honoured.
It's because we're everywhere. Fingers in all the pies.
I mean, Sue Tumman last year was making a good surge and a good challenge for your title, but I think you're still there.
Yay. We don't mind being lumped in with Sue. She's fabulous.
Right, so you're here. We're going to chat about Calendar Girls today, which you're doing next year in May.
Yeah, practice week.
Practice week at the Gaiety Theatre. That's the 29th to the 31st. So it's a fairly new musical, really, isn't it?
I think, it came on stage in 2017, I believe. But the amateur rights have just been released. And so we snatched them up as quickly as we possibly could. And of course, with all the music by Gary Barlow, who
Yes.
wouldn't want to perform the musical. But of course, it's still got the original Tim Firth script. It's still got all the beautiful story, the very sort of beloved characters, but teamed with that amazing music by good old Gary.
So it's based on a play, which will then in turn based on the film, which is based on a true story as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think the thing about the music is that whilst you might not know it, you'll definitely go out sort of humming it because it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. And I sound a bit surprised because you do think, oh gosh, a pop star writing a musical, but like Elton John's written a few, hasn't he? So it's...
Everybody's talking about Jamie.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, you know, Cyndi Lauper wrote Kinky Boots too. So
Yeah.
it's not an unusual thing. And really, it's great music and it just goes so well. You know, Gary's writing in the kind of pop scene just fit occasions and things that were happening. And it does exactly that around the story that is, like you say, a true story. So,
And of course, because he's a northerner as well, he's got all the northern charm and
Yeah.
the northern humour, and it comes through the songs so beautifully.
he definitely gets it, doesn't he?
Totally gets it.
Yeah. So just give us an idea of the basic story of the show.
So it's based around the 2003 film of a group of WI women from Yorkshire. One of them, unfortunately, loses her husband to cancer, and they want to raise money for a couch for the visitors' room at the local hospital. And my character, Chris, who is the best friend of the lady who's lost her husband, she has this brilliant idea of doing a naked calendar. A nude calendar.
Yeah.
Be careful with our words.
But the WI always used to do calendars. They used to do one every year. And
Churches or
yeah,
landscapes.
exactly that.
And so Chris comes up with this brilliant idea of making lots and lots of money by doing a nude calendar. And, you know, chaos ensues and they get more than they were bargained for, basically.
I mean, not only did they get initially enough money to buy more than a couch, they bought a wing. They built a wing of the hospital. So that's an incredible achievement. And I think the ladies would be so stunned to have been told at the time that actually, you know, not only are you going to, you know, raise all this money, you're going to then have a film and a musical made out of your story too. It's incredible.
And it's very much a story of friendship and love and humour and camaraderie and female empowerment, as well as obviously the overriding sort of issue of men's health as well.
Yeah. I mean, and the press picked up on the calendar, did they? And it just went wild. They were all over all the newspapers. All
I
the
remember
TV
we
news
had one in
reports.
our house. I remember my mum
you?
bought one. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where it went. But,
And it was
you know.
they
We
were
should
all,
have kept it. That
I
would have
know,
been cool.
isn't it?
they were all tastefully hidden by bits of knitting and stuff like that, weren't they?
Well, yes. And we've actually, as a little bit of a added extra, we've done a calendar of our own. So we've done a Manx calendar, girls calendar for 2025. And we have gone along the theme of that sort of very tasteful nudity. But also we have incorporated Manx themes and Manx celebrations and Manx traditions. So there's something about the Isle of Man and a lot of Manx tartan and some flesh. Yay.
And it's all members of the cast as well, isn't it? of the
That's
show?
right, yeah.
Every single female member of the cast is involved in the calendar. And, you know, why not? We've got beautiful people involved, men and women, but it's very much about the girls.
Yeah.
And we've already sold the majority of our stock of the calendar, and it's just been so well received. And of course, every single penny of the money raised for the calendar is going directly to the charity.
That's fantastic.
We're doing it for completely non-profit. We feel very, very passionately that we want to make as much money as possible for our charity.
And it's the same with the show itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not making any money from it. It's all going directly to the Big Manx Community Charity, and that will help people on the Isle of Man.
Fantastic. So, and you've got a bit of a personal reason for picking this show as well?
Yeah, I mean, life imitates art, and we are playing two best friends. We are best friends.
It must be difficult for you to...
I know, can't get rid of her. She's obsessed.
Literally coming on 30 years now, Neil. I just turn up at her front door and she gives me wine. It's brilliant.
So, but my husband was diagnosed with cancer in 2022, and we as friends and kind of a family are kind of going through that, and the rights of this became available, and it just all sort of slotted into place. So yeah, here we are, and it didn't seem right to do it for anything other than a charitable purpose.
Yeah.
And to kind of, I did an interview with Howard a while ago, and I said, you know, you got to turn your frown upside down, but it is a cliche, and it's about just dealing with whatever life chucks at you and making the best out of it. And if you can make some money and have a laugh with some mates and put on a show and make some people smile and have a good time, then what's not to love about that?
That's kind of been the running theme of our friendship for however long.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, we very much are of the sort of mindset of, if something happens that is dark and sad, and depressing, then we sort of, it brings you closer together. And what better way to deal with it than with a little bit of humour?
Exactly.
And some songs by Gary Barlow, because why not?
Why not, indeed. So, I mean, my wife Emma is part of the cast.
She is. Thank you for lending her to us again.
No problem. It was her turn, so... and so she was telling me about the fun on the day of the actual sort of photo shoot itself. So I think you had Kelly Firth, wasn't it, that took the photos for the
She was
the calendar.
incredible. I mean, poor Kelly did not know.
Really?
I mean, we had her standing on chairs outside, and at some point you just forget that everyone's naked.
Yes.
We're just sort of chatting away to each other and thinking, oh, that curtain's open, we should probably close that. But
Literally
it was
happened.
and even though we all kind of knew each other to certain degrees, it really brought us together as well. I mean, I'm so excited about starting rehearsals. I was anyway, but especially now we've got to know the group of people and the dynamic even more because of that photo shoot.
Nothing brings people together like nudity and probably some wine.
Both.
Couldn't possibly say.
So have a look at the cast. Obviously, yourself, Chrissy, and Lisa, you're both taking on the lead roles of... So Lisa, you're playing Chris, and Chrissy, you're playing Annie.
Mm-hmm.
So as Chrissy said before, it's very much life imitating art.
Yes.
Annie is the character whose husband has cancer, and Chris, who is the part that I'm playing, is playing her best friend. So it's going to be a stretch.
Yeah.
But I think we'll deal with it.
Now, normally, you two tend to... Well, you often say that you share a brain. And you quite often share directorial duties either together or one or the other, or not. But this time round, you've got some other people to come in. So we're looking at Peter Shimmin as director.
Yes, we're very, very lucky to have Peter on board.
We just felt you can't really be in something and direct it very well at the same time. And especially because we're dealing with a subject that is so close to home.
Yeah.
To have another pair of eyes and ears and Pete's lovely presence in the room and his brilliant ideas and just his lovely personality along for the ride. Well, we couldn't think of anybody else really, could we?
We had to. We really felt like also because we are stage door entertainment, Chrissy and I, we needed somebody that we trusted.
Yeah.
Both with, so emotionally and creatively. And Pete absolutely fits the bill. We're really excited to work with him.
And he's being ably assisted by Jem Last as assistant director and all-round...
Who is an angel sent from heaven.
Yes.
Yeah. Production assistant extraordinaire. She's just... I may need to just have her in my life generally.
I love her so much.
Just a personal assistant.
Yeah, just keep her in a drawer. She's amazing.
Yeah.
There are no words to describe Jem Last and how valuable
Even though
she
we've
is.
done this quite a few times, she's just so all over it, isn't she? And she's asking questions now that we'd probably think about 3 months hence and go, oh yeah, we probably should have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's on it.
I mean, she's been involved with Centre Stage and before that GNS for many years. So yeah,
Now she's ours.
Yes, she certainly brings a wealth of experience with her.
She
For
does.
sure.
And she's just a thoroughly likeable person. I just like her.
Fantastic. And we've once again you got Claire Temple waving the baton at the front and putting you all through your paces musically.
Absolutely. Well, we can't really do anything without her because she's fantastic also. It's quite a girl strong team. Obviously, Pete director it's not a girl, but we've got a lot of girls backstage. We've got girls on spots. We've got a lot of like female influence because it's such a kind of girly show. So,
Girl power.
girl power.
I mean,
But yeah, Claire's awesome, and she'll be waving the baton and keeping all the probably boys in the orchestra completely controlled and
keeping them
following
in
her
place.
lead.
Yeah.
We've worked with Claire on a lot of projects. She's part of Stage Door now.
Yeah.
She knows how we work. We know how she works, and she's just one of the team now, and she always will be. We're never letting her go.
So looking at the rest of the cast, then you've got Danielle Bridson as Cora, Joanne Dickinson as Celia, Sonia Callan as Jessie, Grania Jochen as Ruth, and Emma Callan as Marie. So that's all the main ladies then. And I think not all. Well, I think Emma's character, isn't it? She's the one that's kind of a bit against the whole thing.
Yes,
That's
she
right,
is
yeah.
she's the chairperson of the WI, and
Right.
very straight laced and very traditionally WI, but she has a good old character arc, which we're excited to see.
Yeah.
And we all know Emma can do it.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And then looking at the rest of the cast, we've got Howard Kane as John, Alex Duncan as Rod, Jeff Pugh as Dennis, Rachel Braidwood. Is she playing two parts? Brenda and Lady Cravenshire. Debbie Gooding and Kate Cowley as Miss Tea and Miss Coffee.
Yes. Now that sounds like we've just kind of thrown those names out there, but they are brilliant cameo parts. I mean, we had to find the exact right people for those two parts because they have to be a double act.
Yeah.
And those two are perfect. I mean, they were hilarious on the photo shoot day as well. So can't wait to see what they bring to the table.
Fantastic. We've got Daniel Gray as Lawrence, Darren Webb as Colin, Kieran Doherty as Tomo, Zach Colgan as Danny, and Katie Ross Hughes as Jenny. I think that's the full list anyways. That they've got.
Done, done well there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted as well the younger members of the cast, i.e. the three sort of, we call them the three kids,
yeah.
but they are what are they, 16, 17?
Yeah, they're not
we
really
we needed strong actors for those parts, and
Yes.
we're really excited to work with those three as well. I've never worked with Katie
No.
Rose before, but she came here and we had a bit of a chat and a bit of a sing, and she's perfect for the part. She's gorgeous and statuesque, and it's going to be utterly terrifying for poor old Zach. Which is perfect.
I mean, Katie's not a name I recognise, but I'm assuming that I'll have seen her in some shows.
So she was Elle in the Castle Rushen High School performance of Legally Blonde.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
Real.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, that was her audition, really.
Yeah.
I saw her and I was like,
Yeah,
this
tick.
girl is amazing.
Please,
tick, we'll have her.
So we are early doors here. I mean, normally when we would have a conversation like this for the podcast, it would be 2 or 3 weeks out from the show. But we're still very early doors, and you're still at the point where you're trying to raise the funds to show. I mean, as you said earlier on, you've got a lot of wonderful sponsors, but you're still looking for more.
We've been incredibly lucky with our sponsorship, and we've had some great support from people. But what we would like, ideally, is for every single penny of the ticket money to go to the Big Manx community charity.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we need sponsorship to cover our costs.
Yeah.
So we're not quite there yet, but we're hopeful that we will be. And the more money we raise in sponsorship, the more money can go to the Big Manx community charity, who do unbelievable things on Ireland, and we're really excited about it. So if anybody out there works for a company, owns a company, or just has some money burning a hole in their pocket, we would be more than happy to have a conversation, have a chat. We've got standard packages, or we can bespoke packages for special people too.
Marvellous. So how do people get in touch with you then to talk about this?
Well, they can get in touch through our Facebook page, Stage Door Entertainment IOM, or they can email us on stagedoorents, ENTS, IOM@gmail.com.
Brilliant.
Just very quickly to tell you a little bit about the Big Manx Community Charity.
Oh, yes.
So,
That's a good idea.
so it kind of is a charity that fills a gap where other charities, you might not be eligible for a certain thing from another charity, and there are some amazing charities around, but like individuals can approach the Big Manx community for for anything really. And I mean, we're the money that we raise from this, it's to do with like any time of hardship or any time if you are in a difficult situation because of illness or age, or it can really just help kind of so many different situations. And that's the thing, you make an individual application and the trustees will assess every individual, and sometimes they've supported other charities, individuals. Like it's an incredible charity that, like I say, fills a hole, bridges a gap, and
works sort of individual to individual, you know, perhaps people who don't fit the criteria of the bigger charities, as Chrissy said, and fall through the gaps. These the Big Manx community is there to plug those gaps and make sure that everybody is seen individually and on an individual basis.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's it's just a fab thing, and it can help so many different people in so many different situations.
It sounds like a wonderful charity.
It really is, and it all stays on island.
Fantastic.
100%.
Brilliant. Right, ladies, well, wish you all the very best of luck through your rehearsal period, and I'm sure we'll come back and we'll talk again very much closer to the time. And
You're not getting rid of us that easily, babe.
We don't want to lose our record, do we? If being
Well,
Not letting Sue Tommen overtake us.
I know. What was I going to call us? Your most loved interviewees.
Indeed, most loved. I have to get you a special little
Just most
little
frequent,
trophy.
I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
we would like a star
star.
on our dressing room, please,
Okay.
Mr. Callan.
No brown M&Ms.
Well, we'll see you again close to time. Hopefully we'll get some of the cast in as well.
That'd be amazing.
Fantastic. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast with Neil Callan.
Now, coming thick and fast in the next few months, there are a lot of shows for you to enjoy. First up at the Gaiety Theatre, it's Manannan's Winterfest on December the 12th and 13th. Then it's the Gaiety Theatre pantomime Dick Whittington, running from the 20th to the 31st of December. Into the new year, and first up is the Douglas Choral Union with Chicago, which runs from the 7th to the 15th of February. Then, from the 14th to the 22nd of March, the Manx Operatic Society present the Ireland premiere of Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Then we have another Ireland premiere and Stage Door Entertainment's production of The Calendar Girls from the 29th to the 31st of May. Following on from the success of this year's production of Jersey Boys, Two Feathers are back from the 11th to the 19th of July with The Little Shop of Horrors. Then, in August, there's yet another Ireland premiere, with Tayloring Productions bringing Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to the Gaiety stage in August. And finishing off the Big Society's productions with the last Ireland premiere of the year is Centre Stage with The Band in October. What a year of theatre we've got to look forward to, with 4 brand new shows to the Isle of Man to look forward to. And I'm sure I'll be catching up with the casts of most, if not all, of those shows to chat about them closer to the time. So, with that, we bring episode 62 to a close. Don't forget, if you're interested in sponsoring Stage Door Entertainments, you can contact Lisa or Chrissy through their Facebook page or by email to stagedoorentsiom. That's stagedoorentsiom @gmail.com. Don't forget to check out the Spotify playlist by searching for Manx Theatre Podcast. That's all one word. There's over 100 tracks on there now and over 7 hours of show tunes to satisfy your musical theatre needs. If you have any events that you'd like us to talk about or promote on a future episode, you can contact me through the social media accounts or by email to manxtheatrepodcast@gmail.com. All that remains is to say Merry Christmas, thanks for listening, and I hope you join me again next time. I've been Neil Callan, and you've been listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast. Goodbye.
The Manx Theatre Podcast, taking a look behind the scenes of Manx Theatre.
And happier than actors alive for me.